Finally, God is exposing your son. Your son is, you can't believe, watch fast. My beloved child, stay exactly where you are. Don't scroll. Don't blink. Because what you are about to hear is going to feel like a sharp twist deep in your chest. They thought they could hide it from you. They thought their smile could cover up what they've been doing behind your back. But now, heaven has had enough of the games. Tonight is not like every other night. Because tonight, God has chosen to pull the veil off a story that has remained sealed for far too long. It's about your son, the one you raised, the one you trusted. You have sensed something changing. His words, his tone, his silence, they don't feel like they used to. And you tried to ignore it, giving him the benefit of the doubt. But my dear, this isn't just your imagination. There's a hidden chapter unfolding behind closed doors. And the moment to reveal it has come. That phone call he never lets you hear. The door he closes just a little too quietly. The late-night walks and mysterious texts. You thought maybe it was just life pulling him in a different direction. But child, it wasn't life, it was a decision. A deliberate choice to keep something from you. The people he now surrounds himself with have whispered lies into his ear. He no longer speaks from his heart, he speaks from confusion. And the one who influenced him isn't who you think. There's a man. Older. Cold-hearted. Not his friend, but someone pretending to be one. This man offered him something, not money, not power, but a twisted sense of freedom. And in exchange, your son gave away the most sacred thing you ever gave him, his truth. They told him he didn't need your advice. They poisoned him with the illusion that rebellion is power. And now, your son walks like he's free, but he is not. There is a chain on his spirit. A dark force keeping him from returning to you. And if you listen closely now, you'll hear the divine truth beginning to rise. He wasn't always like this. Once, he would run to you with open arms and tear-filled eyes. You were his shelter, his safe place. But someone is rewriting that memory. Someone is trying to convince him that you are the enemy. And my dear, it's working, for now. Because the truth is, he still loves you. He just doesn't know how to say it anymore. Because the people around him have made him believe that love is weakness. He's caught between two worlds. One filled with chaos, lies, and fake brotherhood. The other, your world, built on sacrifice, pain, and unconditional love. But now, something is shifting in the spiritual realm. Heaven is preparing a divine intervention. And this message is part of it. God has seen the tears you never let him see. The nights you cried silently while praying for his protection. The moments you begged for one more chance to hold him without fear. That prayer was heard. Loudly. Clearly. And today is the answer. He's about to be exposed, not for shame, but for redemption. Not to punish, but to realign. Because your son's destiny cannot be rewritten by wicked hands. There's a room. Hidden, locked, and dusty. Inside it, his real story. The story of a young man who feels guilt every time he sees your eyes. Who scrolls through your photos when no one is watching? And whispers, "I'm sorry," in a voice even he doesn't recognize. But here's what you didn't know, that apology is coming. Sooner than you think. Not because someone told him to, but because heaven is removing every blindfold from his eyes. And he's going to see, for the first time in years, who truly stood by him. The man who misled him will face consequences. That group he followed will begin to collapse. And in the silence that follows, your son will finally hear your voice again. He's not lost forever. He's just walking through a storm he was never built for. But storms always pass. And when they do, the ground is softer. The air is clearer. And the ones who return changed. He may not say it the way you expect. It may come through a single call, or a long silence with trembling eyes. But the moment will arrive. You'll feel it first, like a tug in your spirit. Like the air pausing just for you. And when that moment hits, know this, it was never too late. You are the lighthouse. He is the ship. And even when he drifted, you never turned your light off. That light is guiding him back now. Even if he doesn't understand why he suddenly misses you. Even if he fights it at first. Because God is rewriting what man tried to erase. He's restoring what manipulation tried to destroy. He's breaking every tie that pulled your son away from you. So hold steady, my beloved. Don't let bitterness grow where patience once lived. Because what you are about to witness will leave you breathless. The revelation is near. And it will not come gently, it will come suddenly. Like a knock you weren't expecting. There will be a message. Written or spoken. With words that feel like truth wrapped in sorrow. But that sorrow is the beginning of restoration. The beginning of healing. The beginning of a whole new bond. Let this be your confirmation, your son's heart is being returned to you. His confusion is being cleared. And even if you don't see it right now, even if it feels like silence, there is movement behind the scenes. He will speak. He will confess. And you will hear what you've longed to hear. So get ready. Prepare your heart, your home, your soul. Because this is not the end. It's the beginning of the truth. And the truth is walking home to you. Right now. The moment you've waited for is coming closer than you ever imagined. You may not see him approaching, but spiritually, he's already turning back toward you. Even if his body hasn't moved yet, his heart has begun to soften. The voices that once drowned out your love are now fading. The ones who pushed him away are now confused by his silence. Because something inside him has shifted, and they can feel it too. He's having dreams. Strange, powerful dreams. Ones where he's a child again, running to you, searching for comfort. He's waking up with tears in his eyes, but he won't tell anyone. He's remembering the way you stood by him when everyone else walked away. He's hearing your words echo in his mind during the quietest hours of night. What those around him don't realize is that a divine pull is stronger than any deception. They mocked your faith, but now they're about to witness the fruit of it. Your prayers were not ignored, they were planted. And now, the harvest is about to begin. The walls he built to protect his pride are starting to crack. And through those cracks, light is entering. The light of realization, of remorse, and of longing. He's thinking about coming home. Not just to the house, but to you. To the version of himself he lost somewhere along the way. You must understand, this change won't come in a perfect package. He might be messy, emotional, or even cold at first. But don't be fooled, the fact that he shows up at all is the miracle. He will try to act normal at first, pretend like nothing's wrong, but his eyes will tell the whole story. You'll see the battle between guilt and love happening right there, in that one glance, in the silence that lingers just 1 second too long. Your voice will feel familiar again to him. The way you say his name, it will soften something inside. Like the unlocking of a door that's been sealed for years. But what comes next is important. You must not scold. You must not demand answers right away. Because his return is fragile. And your warmth is the bridge between the broken past and the healing future. Let love speak louder than pain. He has something to confess. Something heavy. Something that might shake you. But it's the truth. And even though it may hurt, it's the beginning of real connection. He'll tell you who convinced him to leave. He'll tell you how they made you look like the enemy. He'll tell you how lost he felt, even when he smiled in front of you. And he'll say sorry, not just once, but in ways that will break and heal you at the same time. Because it won't be just words, it'll be a surrender. There might be a letter. Or a voicemail he recorded and never sent. A journal you find hidden in his drawer one day. These are the signs. The confirmations from above. That your son is finding his way back to himself, and to you. You were never forgotten. Your sacrifices were never unnoticed. Even when he turned away, his soul remembered everything. There is a divine justice at play now. Every person who whispered against you, they will be revealed. Not by your hands, but by truth itself. They will lose access to him. The lies they used will collapse. Because darkness cannot hold what God has reclaimed. This is your moment to stand in grace. To show what unconditional love looks like. To remind him, he still has a home in your heart. He will sit beside you again. Eat at your table again. Ask for your opinion again. He will ask you about things he never cared to know before, your health. Your memories. Your stories. Because now, he understands what he almost lost. And when that moment arrives, when his head bows and tears roll down, you'll feel heaven rejoicing with you. Because this restoration isn't just for you. It's for generations to come. You are breaking a cycle of silence, shame, and separation. Your family's healing begins now. And your son, the one they tried to turn into a stranger, will rise up as the man you always believed he could be. This journey wasn't easy. It broke parts of you. But it also revealed your strength. And now, your strength is being honored. Your story is being rewritten. Not with pain, but with redemption. So when he returns, with a heart full of fear and hope, welcome him. Speak softly. Hold him tightly. Let the past melt away, like fog in morning light. Because what stands in front of you won't be the same boy who left. It will be a man, refined by fire, but not destroyed. Ready to be your son again. The hour of transformation is near. You may not hear footsteps approaching your door yet, but the energy around your home is shifting, it's becoming sacred ground. Because where once there was sorrow, now there will be reunion. Not a forced reconciliation, but a divine restoration, one the heavens orchestrated. Your son won't return as the same boy who left. He will carry the weight of his choices on his shoulders. But that weight is what's been shaping his spirit for this very moment. There will be a breaking before the blooming. He will tremble. He may cry. He may even fall silent, afraid that you won't forgive him. But you will. Not because you have to, but because love has always been your strongest language. When you look into his eyes, you won't just see your son, you'll see the boy who once needed your protection, now in need of your grace. And you will give it. Not with fanfare, but with quiet arms and open space. In that moment, the atmosphere around you will feel different. Like time paused. Like heaven leaned in just to witness it. He'll try to explain. You'll listen, even though some of the words might sting. But in every word, there's a seed of truth, and truth always leads to healing. He'll tell you what they said. How they fed him stories to make him doubt your love. How they twisted every memory to turn him cold. And he'll admit that at times, he believed them. At times, he let the bitterness grow. But even then, he never stopped missing you. He'll describe the nights when guilt choked him. The dreams that haunted him. The voice in his head that kept repeating, "Go back." He thought he was too far gone. He thought too much damage had been done. But still, the thought of you never let him rest. Because your love, though unspoken, kept reaching him. Through old photos. Through childhood memories. Through the prayers you whispered at night. And it cracked the walls he built, brick by brick. He'll confess that he was scared. Scared that you wouldn't want him anymore. Scared that coming back would feel like failure. But now, he sees the truth, coming back isn't weakness, it's courage. And standing before you is his first step into becoming whole again. You'll hold his hands. And in that silence, everything will be said. All the pain, all the tears, all the regret, washed away by presence. There will be a moment when both of you cry. Not just out of pain, but out of relief, because finally, love found its way back. He'll begin to change after that. You'll see it in his choices. In the way he protects you now, instead of hiding from you. He'll open up. Ask for your wisdom again. Sit beside you just to hear your voice. He'll fix what he broke. Apologize not just to you, but to others who were hurt by his distance. And he'll rebuild, this time, on truth. You'll become his anchor again. Not because he needs saving, but because he now knows where home truly is. Even those who tried to pull him away will be stunned. Because they thought they erased you from his heart. But they didn't realize, a parent's love is carved into the soul. Some of them will vanish from his life on their own. Others will try to return, but your son, now wiser, will see them clearly. He won't need to fight. He won't seek revenge. He'll just walk in truth, and truth will do the rest. This reunion will echo for generations. It will become the story his children will tell. Of a family that almost broke, but didn't. Of a mother, a father, a guardian, who never gave up. Who chose patience over anger. And love over ego. God is honoring that love now. Not just with your son's return, but with peace that surpasses every scar. The home that once felt cold will be warm again. The silence that once hurt will now comfort. And the bond that once cracked will be stronger than it ever was. Your son will begin to shine. Not because he's perfect, but because he's finally aligned with the truth. He'll walk in confidence. He'll speak with clarity. And his life will begin to flourish in ways that shock everyone around him. Jobs will open up. Opportunities will chase him. Doors that once stayed shut will now swing wide. Because when someone returns to their roots, and reconnects with their true self, heaven opens paths that no man can block. You'll see your son laugh again. Not the forced smile he used to wear, but a real, deep, healed kind of joy. You'll feel proud, not just because he came back, but because you stood your ground with grace. You loved through silence, through pain, through distance. And now, all of heaven is celebrating with you. Because this story, your story, was never one of defeat, but of divine restoration. The air feels different now. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is finally honest. For the first time in a long time, your home breathes peace again. There's no more pretending. No more quiet stares filled with doubt. No more walking past each other like strangers. Your son is present. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, soul deep. The boy who once ran from your voice now seeks it for guidance. He starts waking up early. You notice it, the light in his eyes, the purpose in his steps. He's no longer wandering, he's rebuilding. One conversation at a time, one gesture at a time, one moment of presence at a time. He starts taking care of things you didn't ask for. Cleaning up messes, handling responsibilities, and most of all, protecting you in ways he never used to. He watches over you now. The same way you once watched over him. Silently, faithfully, without needing praise. You'll catch him looking at you when you're not aware. And when you ask what's wrong, he'll simply say, "Nothing. I just want to be here." Because now, he knows what being here really means. It's not about space, it's about presence. It's about honor. He talks about you to others. With pride. With reverence. He defends you when others try to twist the past. He speaks your name with respect in every room he enters. And he carries your legacy now, not in shame, but in pride. He tells people, "I almost lost everything, but my parent never gave up on me." And that sentence alone changes hearts. Because your story becomes someone else's survival guide. He no longer seeks validation from the world. He no longer chases empty friendships. Because now, he understands where true loyalty lies. He becomes the protector. The one who shields, provides, uplifts. He becomes what he once needed, and now offers that to others. You'll see him hold space for those younger than him. He becomes the one they run to. And when they ask, "How did you become like this?" he answers with one word, home. You changed him, not by force, but by the power of consistency. You stood still when the world tried to drag him away. Now he uses that same stillness to lift others. He shares his story. Not to glorify the pain, but to honor the comeback. And as for those who tried to ruin your bond, they begin to fade. Because they no longer hold influence over him. He sees clearly now. The manipulation. The fake concern. The way they tried to steal his loyalty from you. He doesn't confront them with rage. He confronts them with silence and distance. Because real growth doesn't scream, it simply moves forward. And he moves forward, fast. Doors begin to open for him, career, relationships, spiritual breakthroughs, they all start arriving. Because when a soul aligns with truth, heaven responds instantly. Not with chaos, but with acceleration. He starts writing things down. Thoughts, dreams, plans. And you see a new fire in him, one that's been reignited. You'll find little notes from him sometimes. Thank you for not giving up on me. I'm proud to be your son. You're my biggest blessing. And those notes. They'll heal the parts of you that once ached in silence. They'll remind you, it was all worth it. One day, he'll tell the full story. Maybe at a gathering. Maybe on a stage. Maybe just to one friend going through a similar storm. He'll say, "I was gone, but my parent never let go." And that testimony will break chains for others. Because when one family heals, it teaches the world that healing is possible. He starts making plans for your future. Wants to give you the comfort you once gave him. Wants to build a life where you no longer have to worry. He watches your health. Checks your needs. Keeps you close, not out of guilt, but out of love. And the people around you begin to say, "Look how far he's come." But only you know how deep that journey really went. You both become a living testimony. Of restoration. Of divine timing. Of unwavering love. He's no longer the boy they manipulated. No longer the confused soul they could twist and turn for their gain. Your son has become unshakable, and now, they feel it. The same ones who once whispered lies in his ears, who made him turn cold toward you, are now losing sleep because he sees them for who they really are. There's a new fire in him. A quiet, dangerous strength that doesn't come from rage, but from clarity. He doesn't need to yell. He doesn't need to explain. His silence now speaks volumes. And those who betrayed him, they feel the shift. They sense that the control they once had is gone. They reach out again. Fake concern, sweet words, subtle manipulation. But he doesn't flinch, because this time, he's watching them with wide-open eyes. He sees how they tried to turn him against his own blood. He sees the games, the guilt traps, the fake support. And for the first time, he chooses to protect what matters, you. You are his anchor now. His compass. His center. And when someone dares to disrespect your name, your son doesn't stay silent. He stands tall and says, "Watch your words, that's my parent you're talking about. You never asked for this defense." But now, he gives it freely, because he understands your worth more deeply than ever before. He starts clearing his circle. The ones who used him, gone. The ones who distracted him from his purpose, cut off. He no longer lives in confusion. He no longer questions who he is or where he belongs. Because he knows now, he came from strength, from love, from truth. People begin to notice. They say things like, "He's changed." But deep down, they're intimidated, because they can't manipulate clarity. Your son becomes bold. Not loud, bold. Grounded, unbothered, firm. He starts rebuilding the family's reputation. The one they tried to ruin. He protects your legacy now, the same way you protected his soul when everyone else walked away. He speaks of you in rooms you've never stepped into. He carries your name with pride. And when people ask about his backbone, his discipline, his transformation, he says, "That's from my mother. That's from my father." He starts building more than a life, he builds legacy. He starts businesses, joins missions, sets goals, all rooted in purpose. And in everything he does, he carries a piece of your wisdom. Your love is in the way he leads, decides, forgives, and fights for others. One day, someone from his past will try to return. The one who planted seeds of betrayal between you two. They'll try to act like nothing happened. But your son will look at them, calm, unshaken, and simply say, "That door is closed. You had your chance. I protect my own now." It's not revenge. It's restoration with boundaries. It's forgiveness without access. He doesn't walk with anger, he walks with awareness. And that awareness has made him unstoppable. He's finally walking in his full power. And you? You get to watch it all unfold. Not with bitterness, but with a full heart. You'll remember the days when he wouldn't speak. When he turned away from your eyes. And now, you see him standing tall, because you stayed standing first. Every scar has turned into a mark of strength. Every sleepless night has become a foundation of wisdom. And every tear you cried was turned into fuel for this very moment. He honors you now, not just with words, but with action. He shows up. He builds. He protects. And most importantly, he never hides from you again. This is what full circle looks like. This is the reward for the love that never quit. This is the justice that heaven promised. And now, you no longer have to pray in desperation. You pray in gratitude. Because your son is not just restored, he's transformed. Not just healed, but awakened. And from this day forward, no one will ever be able to shake what's been divinely rebuilt. They never expected this version of him. The same boy they once called weak, broken, and easy to manipulate, has now become a man whose presence shifts every room he walks into. He's no longer just your son. He's a leader. A voice. A protector. A living symbol of how love, faith, and truth can resurrect even the most broken soul. People come to him now for guidance. Young men who are lost. Fathers who made mistakes. Children who don't know what home feels like. And your son? He listens. He guides. He speaks, not from pride, but from experience. Because he remembers what it was like to be blind. To be pulled away from the very arms that raised him. And now, he refuses to let others walk that same path. He becomes a light for the confused. A defender for the voiceless. A bridge for broken families. They call him the man who returned. But you know better, he's the man who rose. He visits community centers, schools, and broken homes. Not for attention, but because his soul has been set on fire with purpose. He speaks about mistakes without shame. He shares his journey not as a tragedy, but as a blueprint of hope. And in every testimony, he includes your name. He tells them, "My parent never gave up on me. That's the reason I'm still breathing." And every time he says it, someone else finds strength. He starts foundations. Builds programs. Mentors the youth. He gives jobs to the forgotten. He gives direction to the lost. He gives credit to the one who raised him when everyone else gave up. And you? You watch it all. Not from the sidelines, but from the heart of it. Because he brings you everywhere now. Introduces you as his hero. Shows the world that you're the reason his story didn't end in disaster. He starts celebrating you publicly. Your birthday becomes an event. Your teachings become his quotes. People ask, "How did you raise a man like this?" And you smile, not because it was easy, but because the pain now has meaning. He takes care of your every need. Your comfort becomes his mission. He studies your habits, anticipates your thoughts, and protects your peace. Doctors? Paid. Bills? Handled. Respect? Never questioned again. And those who once judged you, those who called you too strict or too soft, now look at your family in awe. They wonder how the miracle happened. But the truth is, it wasn't sudden. It was in every sacrifice you made when no one noticed. It was in every night you stayed awake, praying when your heart was tired. He is your harvest. The one that bloomed from years of rain and thorns. And now, you get to sit under the shade of the very tree you planted. Your name is spoken in honor across towns. Your story becomes part of others' healing. And your son? He becomes a legend in the eyes of many. But he never lets it go to his head. He keeps you close. He never forgets who saw him when he was invisible to the world. One day, he'll sit you down. With mist in his eyes and a heart full of gratitude. And he'll say, "I was lost, but you stayed. I'm everything I am because you believed when no one else did. That moment? It will be your reward. Not the fame. Not the money. But that truth, raw and real. The cycle is broken. The pain is healed. The family is whole. And your legacy? It's sealed, not in gold or titles, but in a life that now gives life to others.